And it leads me, a couple of the things that you said lead me to the fifth choice. If we could spend just a little bit more time, the fifth critical choice that I made was to embrace my boundless capacity to love. And I say that, and it's really about not love the emotion, but love the verb, the action, the giving love, and then the receiving love. And you have given examples all throughout this conversation where in my brain and in my heart, I go, oh, that's giving love. Oh, that's giving love. That's giving love. Whether it's asking questions or listening. And even what you were just saying about receiving, receiving what others want to give. So I might ask you to be repeating some things, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Love the verb manifests in different ways for different people all the time, in different situations. When we think about giving love or receiving it, how does that manifest for you, for Morgan? What are some examples in the way that that manifests?
This is an interesting one because I immediately think of my role as a mother. And the way that I used to believe was the best way to be a mom was to be a martyr mother, where it was sacrifice every single part of myself in service of my family.
Oh, the 5 myths to motherhood.
5 myths of motherhood.
Which myth was this one?
I don't know, but
I don't know. Anyways, okay, everybody, you'll just have to go find it. Go on.
we have this belief that true love is completely sacrificing yourself in service of the other, and that it's not. I think it was Carl Jung that said, definitely not verbatim, this is going to be much more clunky than the way that he eloquently says it, but that one of the most detrimental things to our children is the unlived life of a parent. And I've often thought about, like, what exactly is, in the context of being a mother, what exactly is my job here? And I think one of the most important parts of the job is to show my children how to discover who they really are and then live that to the fullest. It's to give them the skills to listen to that little inner voice that is, the older that they get, the more layered on it's going to be, and perhaps harder to hear. Can I give them tools now to build that self-trust, that self-love, so that they, come into adulthood equipped with the ability to listen to that inner guidance, or the guidance from God, or the guidance from universe or consciousness or whatever. Can I do that for them? And so when I think about what does it mean to give and receive love, I think it's that in all the interactions, that if I can do the best to remind people who they really are, that I can give them tools to build trust with themselves, to build trust and connection with other people. I think that's the most loving thing that I can do is just to point people back to themselves, that is love, that is capital L love, and to make choices that are operating more from that place than they are operating from a place of scarcity or fear or lack. If we can tap into our awareness of abundance, and not in like this woo-woo term abundance, like whatever, but it's more like that I am not, there's nothing in me that is depleted by giving love to others, that I'm not going to run out. It's like when you're a parent and you're thinking about having another child, and you're like, but how could I possibly how could I love my next child? I love this one so much, and that's going to be the split, whatever. And you just realize that the more you give, the more it expands. The more your love expands, the more that you give it away. And it trickles into areas like, I don't know, being kind to people on the street. That's a choice, to spread love wherever you are, putting someone's cart away, putting your own cart away at the grocery store, it's all these little like micro choices, these micro choices that are not motivated by keeping score and making sure that I can prove to myself that I did 5 bad things yesterday, but I did 6 good things. It's not that at all. It's more like, how can I just live my life as an outpouring of the love and compassion I feel for myself? And this is the funny thing that I was surprised by, is that I was always taught, okay, so I was raised very religious. And not only was I taught from a young age that at my core I was bad, which has been, a real journey to try and unpack and recover the truth. But I also was told that, like, any good thing that I did was only because it was God doing it through me. And that and for anyone who happened to grow up in an environment where that was the messaging, you'll understand how profound it is to come to the realization that, like, oh, I'm actually good, and the good that I do comes out of this good part in myself. And that I don't have to do these things, these acts of love don't have to come from a place of duty necessarily, but more just because it is who I am.
You encapsulate what I believe with my whole heart. Love is a choice. The micro choices of giving love. And there is no limit to our ability to give it and to receive it. And Morgan, it took me a very, very, very long time to realize that and then to embrace it. I listened to you and you so eloquently describe and illustrate so much of what I believe, but through different experience, different perspective, a different woman, a different mom. And I appreciate and I'm so grateful that you immediately chose to give me your love when we met. But I actually don't mean that. I want to pause there for a second. We were on video, and I know, and I'll wrap us up in a second. We were on video, and I am not the only one on that video that felt your choice to give love on that video. It was your eye contact. It was the questions you asked. It's the way you listened to every single person that spoke and provided context. And those are choices, and they're micro choices to give love. And we felt it. And I appreciate it. And I hope that I do more of what you do. And I hope those around me choose and understand and know that love begets love. The more you give, the more you got. Morgan, okay. I will tell everybody how to follow you. P.S. We expire. Morgan Motsinger, you are beautiful inside and out. Thank you so much for being with us today. Any last thing that you would like to say before I wrap us up?
I guess it would be an encouragement for people who feel maybe afraid to be seen in everything that they are. And that shows up in a lot of different ways, where there's, a lack of confidence to try new things, or when you're talking with someone, you have a difficult time even listening to what they're saying because you're so worried about how you're going to come across, or how you're going to be perceived, or how you're going to look. So moving through life with a lack of confidence that ends up becoming a barrier to connection and greater life satisfaction and pursuing the things that will really fulfill you. I can't overemphasize enough the importance of learning how to not just love yourself, but be able to sit with yourself and all of that stuff, and have that compassion for yourself trickle into all the little nooks and crannies of your own soul and psyche. Because the more calm you feel on the inside and the more compassion you have on the inside, the less concerned you are about coming across a certain way. Because it just, I'm not always the most loving person, but I think in general, I hope that's what people feel when they're around me, is the love kind of like oozing out of my pores, and embrace the hard things that come, because it's in those hard things that we learn these lessons the fastest and deepest. So I guess just an encouragement to slow down and take the time to do the inner work, because it will reap benefits in every single area of your life, even in areas of your life that don't seem to be connected. So that was a long-winded way to just say, just take care of yourselves, everybody. You're doing better than you think you are. You're doing a good job.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me for this episode of the Choose and Become interview series. Morgan and I will just continue our conversation offline without everybody else. I believe with my whole heart that we create enduring success and fuel the success of those around us when we choose to give love and to receive love in return. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Choose and Become interview series. To check out more episodes, go to www.trishkendall.com/podcast, or go to any of your favorite podcast channels, including YouTube, under Trish Kendall Speaks, and you'll find this interview and more. Choose and become.